booties for black girl nerds.
All right, so we are back with another video. I'm going to do a bit of a breakdown on the movie Thunderbolts. It's not going to be dense. It's not going to be as thorough as some of these Marvel geeks out here and film critics that do these breakdowns on a regular, because I am new and green to these commentary streets, as you guys know. I'm just going to give sort of just a very shallow, and by shallow, I mean that in a good way. But I'm just going to give, just a very small surface level. That's probably a better choice of words. A surface level view of my take on Thunderbolts, some box office information around Thunderbolts, and some of the weird conversations on social media around Thunderbolts and the movie Sinners, and my whole take on that as well in this video. So I'm late to the party. Obviously, this video is up now. Today is Saturday. Thunderbolts came out, and even though technically it's not late because it's opening weekend, many people have reviews already out of Thunderbolts. Black Girl Nerds, we've already reviewed the film, but I am just now seeing the movie as of today. So I feel like I'm late to the party, but that is okay because I've seen the film and I gotta tell you, I love it. I love Thunderbolts. This is a great, fun Marvel movie. And I'm not even going to say Marvel is back. Marvel's been back. I loved the last theatrical release that Marvel did, which was Captain America: Brave New World. I enjoyed it. I don't care what other critics and what other fans had to say about it. I know that it got some mixed reviews, but I am someone who thoroughly enjoyed that movie. So Marvel isn't back for me. Marvel's been here. But I also enjoyed this movie just as much as I enjoyed Brave New World. And Thunderbolts just knocked it out of the park from beginning to end. That very first scene, which by the way, that scene has actually been shown in some clips online, the scene with Yolena, and she falls off of actually Florence Pugh, who plays the character. I believe it's like one of the tallest buildings in the world, if I'm not mistaken, because I saw her do an interview on one of these daytime talk shows. She did this stunt, which she did herself, and she fell off the building like 8 or 9 times. It's insane. But she does this great stunt where she falls off of this building, and I just really love that scene. Yolena has sort of this nonchalant, kind of like bored demeanor about her that we know very well from the Black Widow film, which I also loved, by the way. That's another film that had kind of like mixed reviews. But I really enjoyed seeing Florence in this movie. I will say, Florence Pugh, this is the best film performance of her career. She really knocked it out of the park in this film. She gives her all because Yolena is going through a lot, right? She is really feeling frustrated by doing this job. She's feeling a lot of anxiety issues, depression issues. She's stuck in the past. She's not happy with her current present. She's dealing with a lot of post-trauma, dealing with the loss of Natasha. She's got issues with her father, Alexei, played by David Harbour, who also, aka the Red Guardian. There's a lot going on with this character, and it's such a complex role that Florence is taking on. And I imagine it's not an easy task. So she executes it beautifully and wonderfully, and I just absolutely thought she nailed every single beat of this character. So, when it comes to the awards conversation around these types of performances, it's unfortunate that Marvel and these kinds of films don't get the proper respect and justice Angela Bassett, Wakanda Forever. She got nominated, but she didn't win. It just, they don't get the right respect, I think, from the Oscars and the awards folks at all. So, I know I'm, putting the cart before the horse by even talking about awards, but it's just a performance, I think, that is awards worthy. I will say that. She's absolutely brilliant in this performance. 110%. Moving on from performances, I want to talk about some scenes. I'm not going to talk about all scenes, but I will say, if you have not seen Thunderbolts, let me repeat. If you have not seen Thunderbolts, turn off this video. Because I am going to go into spoilers, okay? So I know that for the Sinners video, I did not go into spoilers. This is going to be a spoilerish, a spoilerific video. One thing that really stuck to me was the guinea pig. And the reason why that stuck out to me was, I was like, why are we kind of focusing on this little guinea pig here? And I kind of, it connected with me a little bit. And I could be wrong, that's a cool thing about film. Film is something that's always subjective, right? It's left to interpretation. And filmmakers, me having the opportunity to talk to so many of them, they love it when people watch their movie and they come away with a completely different perspective than what they intended for an audience. Because it is left sometimes to interpretation. And this is the scene where we see Yolena in the laboratory. So we see the guinea pig inside the lab, and she, approaches it. And I thought the guinea pig was a nice reference. It could have meant two things. It could have meant that the guinea pig was a metaphor for Sentry, who Sentry, played by Lewis Pullman, is also known as Bob, Robert in the film. He's being experimented on as someone who could have this superhuman, godlike strength. And that's essentially what, the metaphorical meaning, being like a guinea pig. It could mean that, or what it could mean is that Yolena herself is like a guinea pig, where she's in this situation where she's trapped, like a guinea pig is in a cage. They don't have any agency. They don't have any liberty to go anywhere on their own. They're trapped in a cage, confined, and she feels that she's trapped in this situation where she's in this assignment. She doesn't feel like she's boxed in. She doesn't feel like she has any agency, any freedom in her life. And she's always doing the same thing over and over again. And that's something that she articulates later on in the film. So that was just something that me personally, I thought maybe what the guinea pig meant. Feel free to leave in your comments, what did you think that the guinea pig meant? So there's definitely a metaphorical meaning to the guinea pig in the lab scene. Another moment is with Yolena, and I'm just going to talk about Yolena because for me, she is my favorite character in this movie. Someone said this on Threads, and I think this is so accurate. Like, this is like Black Widow too. It really is. It's Yelena's movie. It really is. There's also this great moment with Yolena where she confronts Sentry, and Sentry is now at his most omniscient form, right? He is superhuman at all levels, and he looks like a shadow, right? With the piercing eyes, all black, looking like a shadow, and he brings all things into the void. If Marvel was a thing in real life, I would not want to live in New York City. There's just an add-on. And these poor New Yorkers, these poor innocent residents who are running, scattering away, are being sent to the void. But Yelena, she slowly walks up to him in this really incredible two-shot where she's approaching him, and then you see the black darkness of the void also approaching her. And once again, these great metaphors, because there's a metaphor also for mental health and mental illness, and she's dealing with her depression and dealing with anxiety issues, and she's also confronting her fears. And you can also say she's kind of confronting her demons, and she's approaching the darkness, and she's approaching the void, and she's not fearful of it. She's willing to fight it at that moment. And I thought that that was very powerful to see that scene. So great job there with that metaphor and that storytelling in that moment, because we're dealing with some really heavy issues that I think people that, kind of have their own issues of depression and anxiety can kind of find some solace in that moment. And Yolena's been through a lot. There's one moment in the film that, and I might get called out for this in the comments, and that's fine. Feel free. You might disagree with me here. It's my opinion, so I'm just going to be honest. That's a scene between Sentry and Bob, because Sentry is sort of this duality. There's the evil Sentry, and then there's Bob, who he was a person that was experimented on and then became this evil entity that has become now Sentry. But Bob is fighting, the evil part of him, the inner demons, right? Which again is this metaphor for mental health and mental illness. But he's fighting his inner demons. He's fighting Sentry, Bob is, and by fighting and fighting and fighting him, it's not actually helping. It's actually making Bob become Sentry. So all of the Thunderbolts, including Yolena herself, sees this and sees that this is actually counterintuitive, that this is actually hurting Bob and not helping him. So she goes and rushes to help Bob and prevent him from being consumed by his own evil, being consumed by his own inner demons, being consumed by, his own illness. And in that moment, when she grabs him to stop him, she tells him, I'm here. And she gives him a hug, sort of in this moment of therapy, in this very therapeutic, consoling way. I thought that moment was a little corny. Me personally, I get it. I get why that was used as a tool to heal Sentry and not to heal Sentry, but to heal Bob. I get why that was used to heal him. I just thought maybe there could have been a more or less corny way to go about it than her hugging him and saying, I'm here. I don't know. Feel free in the comments to let me know if you disagree or if there's a way that you would have done it differently. And I can't even articulate how I would do it differently. So, the first thing I thought when I saw the scene was like, this is kind of campy. This is kind of like, okay. But again, I think a lot of people may disagree with my feelings there. It didn't hit me the way I thought it should have. I felt like that could have been a really strong emotional gut punch moment. And for me, it didn't do that. That's my only criticism of the film, though. I would have to say, everything else was incredible. Great action, great special effects, humor, performances, everything was fantastic. I will say, though, Taskmaster, what a waste. What a waste of Taskmaster. I mean, Taskmaster was is featured on the main poster, is on the Thunderbolts Wheaties boxes, is featured in all of the advertising and promo around the film. And then and again, this is the spoiler section of the video, but she's wasted within the first 10-15 minutes of the film. Like, they kill her off. That's it. She's done. And when I thought Ghost shot and killed her, I thought maybe she's coming back. Like, really? She's dead? But yeah, I guess a shot to the head, that'll do it. That was not what I was expecting. So, wow, that was a disappointment. That was a disappointment. So yeah, those are the two things I was disappointed with, and my criticisms of Thunderbolts was those two moments. So let's get into the box office stuff. Like, Thunderbolts right now, box office wise, pacing pretty well. Cinema score, A-. A-. Pretty good. Pretty good. Thunderbolts has grossed $31.5 million at the box office. Not bad. However, I do need to point something out. There's another Marvel movie that came out that made $40 million. It's called Captain America: Brave New World. Even though critically didn't do so well, and Thunderbolts is doing well critically, Captain America made more money. So, Thunderbolts has fallen short financially in its opening box office weekend compared to Captain America. Now, according to Variety, which has released this information in this report, it's saying that brand recognition is the reason why, brand awareness is the reason why Captain America performed well over Thunderbolts. People know about Captain America more than Thunderbolts. Captain America has a stream of films behind it that people are familiar with. People are familiar with Anthony Mackie throughout the previous Captain America films. So I can get why people are probably not as hyped around Thunderbolts as they would have been with Captain America: Brave New World. But word of mouth, as you know with Sinners, always allows films to thrive and profit and do well. That is ultimately, what helps sustainability at the end of the day. So their staying power will probably thrive with word of mouth. Globally, it's at a $165 million opening, so doing okay. Again, not as well overseas, but it's doing okay. Again, that word of mouth advertising right now, critically doing well. Everyone so far seems to like the movie. The A- cinema score, that does well for the film. So word of mouth will definitely help the film. So let's talk about Sinners and this film, Thunderbolts. Sinners right now has earned $9.5 million in its third week at the box office. It's amazing what this film is doing. I'm so happy and I'm so proud of Sinners that this film has longevity, sustainability, that people are still going back to the box office. I'm pretty certain that a lot of the ticket holders that are seeing Sinners are repeat movie viewers. There may be some new folks coming in, but I know that I am one of those people. I know a lot of people online that I converse with. They have seen Sinners multiple times. So the fact that in its third week, it's made $9.5 million is absolutely remarkable. And it is now being reported that it will soon pass up Captain America: Brave New World as being the second highest grossing film of 2025 in North America. That is bananas. I mean, I love every bit of this. So keep going to the theaters to see Sinners. The fact that it has a re-release of IMAX screenings and more people are going back to the theater to get to see those IMAX screenings, and probably some people are just going so they can get that IMAX film strip. I love it. I'm here for it. I'm going to wrap up this Thunderbolts video with just my own opinion, and I don't know. Y'all might call me out for this one in the comments as well. Have at it. But I don't like this whole pitting Sinners against Thunderbolts conversation. I don't like it. I think both films have a place in the movieverse, in the movie theater conversations. I think you can go see Sinners, you can go see Thunderbolts, and you can enjoy both movies just the same. Especially if you're a movie geek and you're a movie nerd. Like, I think honestly, and this might sound a little bit bougie and hopefully not condescending, but I think the people that feel this way are people that just don't go to movies that often, that feel you've got to choose one or the other, and you really don't, because both movies are good. Now, it's up to you to decide which movie you think is better than the other. I still think Sinners is a way, way better movie. I'm still thinking about Sinners constantly. It scored better on the cinema score rating than Thunderbolts. But that being said, and number one, Sinners is in a league of its own. I think Sinners will always be a better movie than any Marvel movie, to be honest. It's a film that really deserves to be studied. It's a film that is currently having its own syllabus created by a lot of fans online. It's a film that is one of the most provocative films that I have ever seen in quite some time. And I haven't really seen that from a Marvel film. And I've even said online that I put this up above Black Panther among Ryan Coogler's body of work, Sinners. So, and it kind of hurts me to say that a little bit, because as much as I love Chadwick, as much as I love Black Panther and what that film did for the culture, especially for us as Black nerds, Sinners is just in a league of its own. It's just a beautiful piece of work. And now this Thunderbolts video is turning into a Sinners video. But the whole thing with the IMAX screens thing, yes, right now you cannot watch Sinners in IMAX. That is true. And I think that's where this whole thing developed from, where people didn't want to commit to watching Thunderbolts. And this is not like a big conversation. It's not like, big media sites or the trades or broadcast, news stations are reporting this. This is a very small online community that's having this conversation. Bottom line is, Sinners is doing well. And even though right now there are no IMAX screenings for Sinners because Thunderbolts is taking up those IMAX screens, Sinners is still doing well at the box office. You just heard the report, 9.5 million. That's a strong number for a third week opening for a horror film, a horror movie, okay? It's pacing to become the second highest grossing movie of 2025. And Warner Brothers is going to re-release those IMAX screenings. So it's gonna be okay. You can commit to watching Sinners and watching Thunderbolts and celebrate both movies. No need to boycott anything. No need to boycott Marvel, whatever, ridiculous conversation is around that. But you can absolutely enjoy watching both of these movies and appreciate cinema, watch them and appreciate IMAX screenings, and have conversations online around these films that are just good movies. My sentiment is just boycott really bad movies. If you're going to boycott anything, boycott movies that are just absolutely terrible. But no need to boycott Thunderbolts, and it's really unfortunate if you choose to not see this movie because you feel like you want to amplify another film, because you're really missing out. By the way, I'm done with that conversation. By the way, 2 post-credit scenes. 2. Please stay for the credits. I need movie theaters to do me a favor. I need you guys to not bring the house lights up when the credits roll. I think that this is maybe a thing that you guys have as a policy or whatever. Stop that. I just need theaters to not do that. So yes, there are 2 post-credit scenes in Thunderbolts. The first post-credit scene, meh, you know. Red Guardian, he has this little funny moment where he's on a Wheaties box and he points it out to a lady in a grocery store and she's kind of creeped out by it. Okay. Ha ha ha. The second post-credit scene, it's great. It's wonderful. It definitely ties into Fantastic Four First Steps, and it ties into Doomsday. And in that second post-credit scene, there's conversations around Sam Wilson being litigious around the Avengers, the now named, all right, because we find this out at the end of the movie. Again, spoiler alert. We find out that the Thunderbolts are now no longer the Thunderbolts. They're the new Avengers. So Sam ain't too happy with that. Sam Wilson. He ain't too happy about that. And there's some litigation going on about the use of the name. So it looks like Marvel is going to be pitting Sam Wilson against Bucky. And I'm like, what is going on? Brave New World, we had them as buddy comrades. They were all cool. Now they're going to be possible antagonists? That's the way it's looking. So I am very curious to see how this all shakes out. Because yeah, he's apparently there's some friction going on with the use of the new Avengers and Sam Wilson and his Avengers team. But I loved that post-credit scene. It was amazing. It was amazing. And man, to the guy that left my theater, I don't know why he did it. I don't know why he left, but you missed the best scene. But yeah, please guys, do not. I mean, hopefully you've already seen it, because I ruined it for you. But yeah, there are 2 post-credit scenes, and going forward, when you see First Steps, make sure you stay for the whole entire thing. Stay for the whole thing, because at this point, you guys should know. You never get up for a Marvel movie, and make sure that if you gotta go to the bathroom, empty your bladder before the movie starts, so you ain't got to worry about all that, because you got to sit through those credits. Those post credits, that is information. That is information that you need to know before you get to the next event film. So with that said, I'm going to end this video. Thank you for watching. And, I may see you on the next video. I may not. I don't know. We will see what happens. See you next time. Bye.
Better shake your booties for black girl nerves. Better shake your booties for black girl nerves.